Hey everyone, it's Patty from pspapercrafts. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, which means that I show you how to use Stampin' Up! Products. And I love Stampin' Up! Products. Everything coordinates, the ink, the paper, the cardstock, the ribbon. It's all great. So it makes my life easier. I'm not a very crafty person, but given the right tools, I can do some good stuff. So anyway, this is the card I'm making. It's a masculine birthday card, and I need to make 2 masculine birthday cards for October. My brother and my sister-in-law's boyfriend are both October. One's in New York, one's in California, so I'm safe to make them the same card. So let's get started. I'm using Early Espresso. Now you could use your very vanilla for your card base, but I thought that the Early Espresso made it very masculine. And then I'm using a copper foil sheet and very vanilla. And let me show you the foil paper. This is the Brushed Metallic Cardstock, and this has brass and copper and gold. And I'm using each of the colors for the leaves, and then I have this copper background. And I am cutting the leaves with this, I have them out. This is my second round of making this video, and I'm hoping this one comes out good because I had a problem. It wasn't recording, and I'm looking for the dies that I used. So I found them. This is the Aspen Tree Dies, and it has 2 sheets of dies, and this is a great oval that has the aspen tree trunks and tops and stuff. And then it has these 2, which I'll be using, these great leaves, and they're aspen leaves, and they have this vein in it that gets embossed, so it's really pretty. This goes with a bird from the stamp set, and this is a floral image. I did not get the stamp set. I don't always get the dies, and I don't always get the stamp set. I usually do, but not all the time. So when I'm using a piece of foil paper, I like to die cut out the middle so that I'm not wasting it. I just feel like these, I try to protect as much as I can. So even if I'm not using die cuts, I'll cut a rectangle out just so I have the border, and then I save the inside. But since we're cutting out some leaves, I'm going to do the big one, the little one, and then another little one for the inside. I'm going to take my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and let me just put this down. And I'm going to cut these leaves right out from the center. I don't want to go too far around the border because I want to leave room so it can show as a border. So we'll just do this, and then I'll do one up here, and that should be plenty of room. So we'll just line up our plates and run it through. And then I'll have to run it through again a second time. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden I looked at my phone and it wasn't recording anything before. So we're doing round 2 of this. So these just really pop out. We're going to put this over there and this over here, and the die goes back, and then we'll just put this one right here, and we'll do one more. Now, if I wanted to, I could, do it again and maybe get another leaf over here for another project, but I'm just going to do the 3 leaves that we're going to use. Okay, and now we have our leaves and our piece. I'm going to put my die back so I don't lose it. I've got my second leaf and I have my piece. Let's put this away. Now the next thing I want to do, I'm going to put these aside, and I already cut some of these other leaves, the brass and the gold. I figured you didn't have to watch me do that. And then I have, this is my inside layer, I believe. Yeah. So this is a smaller piece. It's a 3 3¾ by 5. But I'll have all the measurements on my blog, pspapercrafts.com. I'll have a project sheet with measurements and instructions and all that good stuff. So what I want to do now is just splatter some ink right on this card, on this layer. So I'm using, I like the blends, the Stampin' blends, and this is one of those natural colors. I don't know the name of it. I'll put it on my blog. When we first bought these, they didn't have names. They just had numbers. So this is the SU200. And it looks kind of like a, I don't know, coppery color to me. And I'm going to use the thicker end. And I'm just going to flick it off my cap. And you could put as much or as little. It's hard to control. But I think it gives it a neat look when you have some white space. So now we want to put this on our copper layer. And then we're going to wrap some ribbon around it. So I'm going to use liquid glue, and you have to be kind of careful with the liquid glue. I'm going to actually put it on this one. When you're doing the foil sheet with the liquid glue, it kind of gets slippery sometimes. So you just have to be careful that you don't slide away there. So we're going to put this, actually I'm doing it backwards. I didn't want to go into the holes there and have glue where those leaves were cut out. So that's why it did it that way. Okay, now we're going to get some ribbon. And I'm using this really, it's a beautiful kind of natural look. And it is called Natural Finish Ribbon. And we'll just cut a piece a little bit longer than our layer. And you know, this has got Guy written all over it, right? This natural ribbon. And then the copper and the brass and the gold. There's my Bailey snoring again. Every time I do a video, it's his afternoon nap. So I hope you don't hear him. Okay, so now we can put this on the card base. Make sure it's open the right way and decide which way you want it. And I'll just put some glue on this. Whatever adhesive you want, you can use. Okay, Bailey. He's going to town over there. All right. Just put this right here, get it all centered, all nice around. And now we want to, before I start decorating it with the leaves, I'm going to stamp the happy birthday. And I'm using this at Peaceful Moments. This is an oldie. It was in the catalog for a couple of years now, but I tend to go to it for birthdays. Happy birthday and wishing you happiness and a special day will bring. And I'm going to use Early Espresso ink. And I'll just stamp it right on a piece of Very Vanilla. And close this up. And then I'm going to use my, let's see, Label Me Fancy. There's a Label Me Lovely and a Label Me Fancy. And they kind of coordinate together. And if you can, it's nice to stamp it and then cut it so you can straighten it out. Sometimes, you know, if I do a card kit, you don't have that opportunity because you just get the label that I've already cut for you. But let's do this. So this is the other one, the Label Me Lovely. So they just really coordinate nicely together. And then we'll add this on. We'll get some liquid glue. And then we can start decorating with the leaves. And I'll show you a couple of different ways you can do it. I was going to do it one way, and then I decided to switch it up. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Maybe we'll do this card that way. So get this nice and straight. And then this will fit nicely here. See how that ribbon is? I feel like it's a little crooked. Okay, so now what we can do is put our leaves up here. So I was going to do it all up here and just put a bunch of leaves up there. And then I decided, I don't like the bottom. And then I added the splatter. So this is another option if you wanted to just have all the leaves up there What do you think of that? Should we do it that way? I think they're both pretty. I kind of like it the other way though. So let's do it the other way, the way I have this card. Okay, let's get the Scotch tape and just put some glue on this and put it right down there. And then we'll do this one. And they're okay that they're spread apart because this is going to cover the middle. So you want to have, you know, that leaf showing. Let's just make sure. And with the liquid glue, you can move it around a little bit. Okay, and then let's put some dimensionals on this. And I only put a dimensional at the top and the bottom because I didn't want it to get all caught up with that ribbon. And these are pretty secure, so I don't think you have to worry about it. So we'll put this right here. Okay, and I love that the splatter is there. So we'll put one of these here, put a little bit of glue on the back. And sometimes I'll just put a block on it just to hold it down in place. It just put a little bit of weight on it. And let's see, so one is brass and one is gold. So we'll put one of each. I think the lighter one is the brass. And I do have that right here. I have that dimensional, so it's kind of in the way a little bit. We'll just put that on there. We're going to do this on the inside. So I'm going to leave this here, and let's do the inside. So the inside sentiment will stamp with Early Espresso. And I like to do my stamping first in case you make a mistake. You could flip the page and you don't have your leaf on already. Wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. Okay. And then I'm going to put another leaf up here. You can put one down here as well if you want. I think I'm just going to leave the one at the top. I'm kind of less is more kind of person. So let's see, we'll put it this way. Okay, and then we can put this on the inside. And I usually use Stampin' Seal for this, but I'm going to go with the liquid glue. Just a very light layer. And put that right there. Get it all nice and centered. And then we have one more thing to add. And that is one of these Brushed Metallic Adhesive Back Dots. So same colors as the foil. So I did the copper one, but you can use any of them. And I just put one right here. Just thought that, you know, added the guy theme to it, right? Some kind of a bolt or something like that. So these are the cards. I think they're really pretty. The shine and the embossed part of it is just gorgeous. So thanks for joining. Come back next week. I'll have another one. And I just want to give a promo for, I have a 12 weeks of Christmas, and it's only for people who subscribe to my email. There's a link below here if you wanted to subscribe, and you'll get 12 weeks of fun Christmas projects that are exclusive to you guys on my email list. Thanks for joining, and you guys have a good day. Bye.